Miami Heat Nation, what is going on? So we do have a round table today with Amir. Go check out his channel, Team to Beat Miami Heat. He's trying to get 3,000 subscribers, man. So go check his channel out. Go check out Martell, Miami Heat Zone podcast or Miami Heat Zone. This dude drops 30 videos a day. So if you guys just want to stay updated with Heat content, he definitely is updated with y'all. And of course, Trent, Miami Heat Network, man. But we got a lot to talk about today, man. So the trade deadline is officially over. I do want to say something, and this is not guaranteed. There is some stuff being reported. This is coming from Barry Jackson. He says Heat tell the writers that it's safe to report they're done. That hasn't been conveyed yet. Usually happens quickly after the trade deadline. So there might be some moves in the making still involving the Miami Heat, possibly Kyle Anderson, possibly Marcus Smart. We don't know yet. We'll keep you guys updated, but I just want to start off the video with that. But we are going to talk about briefly about the Davion Mitchell trade, the Jimmy Butler trade, and then the buyout market, because it's time for the buyout market. This is a time where good teams become great by adding these type of players, man. So, Mayor, I know you made a video about Marcus Smart and all these other players, but how do you feel? Like what player do you want to go after besides Marcus Smart? I could throw some names at you right now. Potential Ben Simmons. I don't see D'Angelo Russell getting bought. No, he's staying, so that's not true. Kelly Olynyk, Bruce Brown, Malcolm Brogdon, Torrey Craig, Dennis Schroeder is going to be staying with Detroit, and Marcus Smart. So, what do you think about some buyout candidates that could help out the Heat right now?
I like Olynyk just because we've added size with Wiggins. Obviously, we have Kalel now starting, so we don't really have a backup center. We have Kevin Love. We saw him fall on his ass in that first quarter against who the hell did we just play against and beat? I forgot. Who did we just beat? Sixers. So yeah, Kevin Love is old. We can't have him as our backup center. And now that Kalel is our starting center, I think Kelly O coming back into the system, 7-footer who can come off and spread the floor. And I think he can help with rebound. He's not the greatest rebounder, but still he can hit the three and he's a good playmaker. So I like him because he's still relatively young enough. He's like 31, 32. He's not super old. He's going to be cheap. He knows the system. He's a 7-footer. Continue to add size is what I think. Like we got Slow-Mo, we got Kyle Anderson as well. He also, gives us a little bit of size and someone who has some fundamentals who can hit the three and play defense. So I like Kelly Olynyk, I think, just because, I don't know. I think other contenders are going to get Simmons. I don't know if we have a shot. Like, who knows with his mentality if he actually wants to win, right? Like, I don't know if I was him, I'd rather go to like the Bucks or whatever other team, perhaps that's actually like a top seed in the East or the West. But I like Bruce Brown too. He's a guy that we've wanted. But now that we already have Wiggins and Kyle Anderson, we still have Haywood Highsmith, Jaime. We kind of have a logjam like in that area. So I think just let's get bigger. That's my opinion. What do you think?
I mean, dude, he's shooting 44% from the 3-point line. In his last 10, he's shooting about 44. Yep. Averaging about 5 rebounds. I'm fine with it. I thought we need a backup big anyways. So I'll take a Kelly Olynyk coming back to the roster. I like a floor spacing 5 because we don't really have that. Bam, where we don't really have that floor spacing 5, and Kelly Olynyk can bring that. This year, average about 7 points a game. So I would bring back Kelly Olynyk for sure. Martell, and like, what's your thoughts and opinions? What players are you looking at the buyout market? What players do you want to bring in and stuff like that?
Yeah, man, that boy Kelly Olynyk, he should have been back, to be honest. I mean, he was pretty much the only solid big man that has been next to Bam that has actually pretty much worked. I mean, I think he's a great floor spacer. Not the best rebounder, but like it is what it is.
Yeah,
he's out of the rotation. He's only playing 16 minutes. So like, look what he did last season. He was playing 26 with Toronto, 13 points per game, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. You know what I mean? Like, so his numbers, his 3-point shooting is still there, the percentages, but the points are down because he's not even in the rotation, right? He's on a shitty team. So
yeah,
that's why I was excited about it, right?
What I will say is, right, because this Marcus Smart to me seems more realistic. And the reason why I say that is because, so if you guys don't know, right, I'm going to show you guys on the screen right now, right? So Marcus Smart has been shipped to the Washington Wizards. I know. I'm gonna show you.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't sure if you knew or not. Yep, there
Yeah.
it is.
So Marcus Smart has been traded to the Wizards, right? So he been traded to the Wizards in a multi-team trade that sends 2 second-round picks to the Memphis, right? The thing is, right? Wizards have no point of this. Why would they keep Marcus Smart? It makes no sense. It absolutely makes. They only did this trade to acquire that first-round pick. The Grizzlies had to trade a first-round pick to get rid of Marcus Smart, right? Marcus Smart is going to become a free agent 100%. The thing is about Marcus Smart has struggled dramatically this year. He has been injured throughout the whole year. But give me your thoughts and opinions on Marcus Smart because Amir, I know you made a video on him. Do you think he fits with the Miami Heat system? Do you think he would help out? Like, give your thoughts.
Oh yeah, he's like a Miami Heat culture type of dude. He's still 30, but he's been hurt the last season, like 2 seasons. He's only played 19 this year. He played 20 last year, and his numbers are down. Like in those 20 games last year, he still averaged 14 and a half points, which was good. His 3-point shooting is down. It's not what it was when he was on the Celtics, but he does fit the culture. I mean, he won DPOY over Bam, which is a fluke. It's fraud, whatever. But like, he's still a good defensive player, right? Even though like the injuries are catching up to him, obviously, but when healthy, he's still young enough at age 30 where if he's healthy, he's still going to be a really good defender. Like we got Davion Mitchell, that's great, but Marcus Smart's a better player than Davion Mitchell, obviously, like when healthy. So I'm okay with it. Like he's a good playmaker. He's not the best point guard. He's not a true point guard, but he's averaged 5-6 assists per game when he was back on the Celtics. So he's capable of like being a floor general or secondary playmaker next to Tyler Hero, right? Not saying he would start necessarily, but even coming off the bench, man, like now that we have Wiggins, we have Haywood coming off the bench. And so having another really good defender with Haywood off the bench and then putting in Duncan Robinson in that mix, like we have guys that we can surround around Duncan, Tyler, and Terry, the guys who usually get hunted on defense, right? So for defensive purposes, I think it makes sense. He could play make a little bit. He could still hit the 3. Yeah, I think it's okay. I mean, it's not the greatest fit, but what are your thoughts as a backup?
Yeah, I mean, I just have a feeling like right now we're just hungry and thirsty to get somebody on the team. I think Marcus Smart and Terry Rozier would be like the worst playing together. Like I truly do. Like unless we're getting this Boston Celtics Marcus Smart, which I've spoken to Celtics fans and they weren't really a big fan of Marcus Smart, and I was like, wow, I was kind of shocked about that because I felt like he was their savior at times. You know what I mean? But I mean, if Marcus Smart could stay healthy, I mean, we only have him for the 40 plus games or 30 plus games after this. It's not like we're going to keep him long term. I'll bring him in short. You know what I mean? We're making moves so we can get under the apron. That's why we shipped off PJ Tucker, and that's why we shipped off Dennis Schroeder. So it's cool. Now, how do you feel about this whole Davion Mitchell trade? And because those are the kind of the buyouts that the Miami Heat will probably look at. I mean, possibly Ben Simmons. You know what I mean? But some people don't. Some people don't like Ben Simmons. You think Ben Simmons will fit on this team before we get to that Davion Mitchell trade? Like, how do you feel about Ben Simmons?
I mean, I think he's cooked. He's washed. His psyche is all messed up. Like that guy, like I don't know if he used the back injury as an excuse to like quit playing basketball, but there's something up with him. Like he was an all-star. He was an all-star. You don't need to shoot to be a good player in the NBA. You know what I mean? You don't need to be an elite shooter when you have size, rebounding, playmaking, the defense that he has, right? Like he had a formula that was working until whatever happened like the last couple of years, right? And like he's fallen off a map. How many time all-star was he? 3? 2 or 3 at least, right? Like obviously he was playing with Embiid. He was on a good Sixers team, but I don't know, man. He doesn't seem like he loves basketball. You know what I mean? Like I don't want a guy like that. Like maybe for cheap, it's a rental, it's a whatever. You buy him out, you like just for the season, right? You see what he can do. He could fit. He's 6'10". He could facilitate. Like obviously, look at his assists. He's still averaging 7 assists per game. His reboundings are down, but he's not playing as much, right? So like he could rebound, he could facilitate. He's not going to give you anything offensively, but that helps with Miami's identity. We're a defensive-minded team anyway, right? And our defense has been struggling now, and we're adding pieces that can help us, right? Wiggins, Slow-Mo, Mitchell now. Adding someone like Smart or Ben Simmons would make sense also to shore up our defense on the bench, right?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I brought up Ben Simmons is because he is going to be the top buyout candidate, to be honest with you. But his size, his length, his playmaking ability is what we lack. He can set our players up. And also he can grasp for rebounds. So I wouldn't be against, acquiring a player like Ben Simmons, to be honest with you. The only way like you don't acquire Ben Simmons is because of his massive contract, but we don't really got to deal with that at this point because he's a buyout market candidate, right? So those are kind of the buyout market candidates that the Miami Heat could possibly look at. There's obviously going to be more stuff is going to happen. Reggie Jackson, stay away from the Miami Heat, please. That dude is garbage. But every day there's going to be a player probably released. Players are probably going to get bought out. Players are going to get signed. So we'll keep you guys updated with that. But going on to the Davion Mitchell trade, man, this was an awesome move for the Miami Heat. Somebody did bring it in perspective that it wasn't great value because we traded Shooter and some picks to get Davion Mitchell. When you look at it at that perspective, it's not as great as you think because you're giving up capital, giving up a player, Dennis Shooter, who is better than Davion Mitchell. But what I do want to show you, Amir, is look at this, man. Defensively, the top 10 players in two-way usage. Look at this. Andrew Wiggins is 10, and Davion Mitchell is 7. So defensively, this Miami Heat team is going to be locked down. That's not even considering Bam Adebayo. That's not even considering Kel'el Ware. You know what I mean? So now we can leave Tyler Herro, but you don't got to worry about Tyler Herro defensively like that because we have people behind him to play defense for the kid. You know what I mean? And offensively, he's going to be our best player on the court every single night. That's our number one guy. There's no more Jimmy Butler. It's Tyler and Bam and Wiggins. So how do you feel about this Davion Mitchell trade? Defensively, we all know he's great, but where do you see him fitting? Do you see him as a long-term piece for this Miami Heat team?
I mean, he's so cheap, and he's on an expiring deal. It's like $6 million, which is absolutely nothing, right? So he's the reason why the reason why we could add him is because for PJ Tucker, we saved $5 million, right? PJ was $11 million expiring, he's $6 million. So we're under the first apron now because of this. So I think that's the biggest reason why we got him. We also got him because of his defense, like you mentioned, and his point of attack defense. Is he really going to play that much? Like Spo, it's so hard to get into his lineups and rotations sometimes. Like he's still playing Terry Rozier 31 minutes per game. You think people on Heat Twitter think he's going to come in and start? Like, no, he's not going to start. It's still going to be Tyler, most likely Duncan, Wiggins, Bam, and Kel'el Ware, right? So he might play a little bit. Of course, he's probably going to play a little bit. Spo wants to see what he can do, especially from a defensive perspective. I just don't think he's going to play a lot initially. Like he's 26. He kind of is what he is at this point, right? Like he's been on multiple teams now, and wasn't he like a number 2 pick overall or something crazy? Like he is kind of a bust for wherever he got drafted, right? Like as a lottery pick. So I think he'll get some run a little bit, but not a lot initially, right? He's such a cheap guy. I think it was more about getting under the apron, right? And next move is going to be trying to get out of the luxury tax, I think, which is huge for the Heat because now without this move, we wouldn't be talking about any of the buyout candidates you mentioned, right? Like now I mean, some of them, yes, we could, but not Olynyk, not Ben Simmons. If they made over 13 million, you can't get them. So it'd have to be like someone that is like a veteran minimum or some scrub who's only making like 5-6 million that we could have actually got if we were still a first apron team. But I mean, I like it. I like it for cheap. $6 million, dude. That's like one of the cheapest guys on our entire roster now. And he's 26. He's young, plays really well. If he does play well, then we can sign him on a small contract, right? Maybe give him like a 2-year deal, 15 million or something, right? Give him a little bonus. We'll see. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I love the move, man. I mean, his last 10, he's been playing a lot more minutes, as you see, 25 minutes and 54% from the field, 47% from the three-point line, which is crazy. I mean, he didn't even miss a free throw in this stretch either. So I'm happy with the move, man. I'm happy with the team moving forward. We don't got to deal with no more Jimmy Butler drama, no toxic vibes around us. I think Spo could finally coach and be Spo. I think that players can be the players finally because they don't got to worry about possibly them being traded and involved in the trade deadline and stuff like that. Now they can just go out there and ball. You can't be traded until the offseason. You know what I mean? Spo can be Spo. So looking forward to it, man. Excited to see what this Miami Heat team could do with their new roster. But any final thoughts about the Jimmy trade, Davion trade, buyout market? Anything you got to say about this Miami Heat team?
No, just we're gonna miss you, Jimmy. We're gonna see what it's like now, kind of doing this soft rebuild. So it sucks. I mean, it is what it is. I'll cherish all the moments that we've had with Jimmy Butler, and we're gonna watch. we're going to watch from afar. And, well, for me, it's close because I live in San Francisco, right? So he's in my backyard now. But we're going to watch Jimmy Butler, just like Dallas fans are going to watch Luka playing on the Lakers to see, like, what that product's going to look like on their new roster, right? Jimmy's going to be playing balls to the wall when he can, right? Like, he's trying to spite the Miami Heat, not the players, but the front office and Pat Riley, Mickey Harrison. He wants to say, look what you could have had. It was one more year, right? Warriors did it. They gave him the extension, which I thought was kind of, I don't think it's crazy, but it was just like, oh shit, they gave it to him before he even stepped on the court, right? Like, so, but that's why he was okay with, going there. I mean, it didn't really matter if we had Jimmy's blessing or not, where we were trading him anyway, right? At this point. But the fact that he told the Warriors that he's willing to stay for that extension is why we got a deal done with them, right? Versus like them being more hesitant or giving us a worse package. Because I still think it's a okay package for what it is. So I'll take it. But anyway, I'm happy we have closure. I'm happy we can now just focus on the youth. And I'm happy we have some flexibility now and some assets, right? So hopefully we can pair Bam and Tyler with someone because we need someone. We're not contenders. We're just trying to grow, is my opinion, right? With this young team. So we'll see what happens in the next couple seasons.
Definitely, man. So go check out Amir's channel, Team to Beat. Check out Martel's channel, Miami Heat's own podcast. Obviously, subscribe to all of us. And we love y'all, man. We out. Peace. Peace.